What's up, everyone? It's KB, and I love movies. Uh, haven't said that in like 2 weeks, so kind of feels weird to say that. But went on vacation, went to Aruba with the family, had a great time, and it's good to be back. It's good to be back and doing live streams and everything like that. So, shout out first of all to everyone in the chat. Good to see you again. Good to see familiar faces popping up. Thank you for being here tonight. As far as tonight, we have you've heard me if you've been here long enough, you've heard me talk about the reason why I wanted to start my YouTube channel and throughout COVID and what I just recently found out was even before there were a couple of people that I watched over and over and our guest tonight happens to be one of them. Um, I'm just gonna bring him in. We got Jeff from Films at Home.
What's up? How's it going?
Okay, so we got an echo going on here.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Let me put my headphones in.
All right, I'll give you a
My
minute.
fault. That's a rookie mistake. I should know better.
You're not new to this.
No, that's hold on. I'll change the settings.
All right,
That's on me. That's on me. I meant to do that. All right.
check 1, 2.
Yeah, is that better?
Good to go. All right.
I'm good. I got you.
So I was going to start off and let you know that, I remember since like back at, I don't even think you were doing it at 1K, like try to get me to whatever. So I remember 10K when you were trying to get to 10K and getting everybody to sub up and everything like that. But I went back and I think we interacted once or twice before in the forum days when you were doing reviews on there. So
Oh,
I think it
potentially.
goes back even further than YouTube.
Yeah. And when I was writing stuff,
Yeah.
that's like 20, yeah, it's like 2014, 2015-ish. And then I didn't do YouTube till September, October 2017. Yeah, you go way back.
Yeah. I
Almost
was
10
in
years now.
DVD Talk. I was
Yep.
before Blu-ray.com, High Def Ninja. I
Yep.
was in a lot of those forums. So yeah, it goes back that far, man.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's where I started.
Yeah. So I was gonna say that there's 5 people that, when I was starting the conversation and coming up with the whole concept, I said, these are 5 people that like I really want to have a conversation with. It was you, Heath from Serial at Midnight, um, Dave from Cinema Sickness, because it was his room tour, his library tour that really got me into like, why am I not collecting anymore? I've been collecting since VHS days, and that's what got me collecting again.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Wilmot, who co-wrote Black Klansman with Spike Lee and Chirac and The Five Bloods. He's actually a personal friend of mine, but I've never had him on here. Oscar-winning
Yeah.
screenwriter, never had him on here, so I got to get him on here. And a local director, Jill Six, who did The Stylist. So
Okay.
hopefully I could get those last 2 on pretty soon. But glad to have you on.
Yeah. Thanks
The
for
way
having
we
me.
normally do this, we start off with a non-movie question. We get into the movie stuff, then we end with the 5 takes.
Sure.
Um, but let's see who's joining us in the chat before we get started. So we got Johnny. What's Johnny watching? Saying, hey, what's up, cool kids?
Johnny's
We got
watching this live
Adrian
stream.
James. We got John Doe Juggalo. Thank you for everyone who came over from Jeff's live stream that he had going before this one. Welcome. Some new faces. We got Matt. Who else? We got Marco. Yeah, there you go. Dangerous Devil Official came over from Films at Home. What's up? Thank you for joining us. We got Troy in the house. What's up? Another one jumped over. Thank you, everyone who jumped over from Films at Home. Clutch, Per Harbeck. Thank you. We got Michael in the house saying hi to everyone. We got James from 20th and 21st saying happy hump day. You know what that means, James? Tomorrow's Friday Eve. Keep that in mind. We got my sunshine here. We got Draculina Horror. What's up, Caprice? We got Mama Blu-ray joining us. Marie, good to see you. Say hi to Martinez Joe for us. Let's see. Ice cold cool. We're all cool kids in one way or another. What's up, Laren? Thank you everyone for hopping in. This is cool. Movies with Marty saying hello to everyone. Yeah, man, Jordo, we got to get that Zoom session going, man. Hit me up sometime today. Tony, Basement Blues. Look, I'm in a
He's
new
here.
location. I'm getting the basement in order. He's been my accountability partner for getting this. I have a basement that's like workspace, 83-inch LG movie collection space, and he's like, "You get that done yet?" I'm like, "Not yet," but I have a desk. It works. It's a sit-stand desk, so I'm getting there, Tony. I'm getting there. We got AJ in the house. Archive Underground. Tony Wiseau. Yeah, I like that. Tony Wiseau. Everyone's saying hello to each other. My BFF is in the house. What's up, Melissa? We got Monkey with the intro. From 4K D-Ray's battles to Bob's wonderful battles, he's a collection warrior none can beat. Now he's on the conversation? Sweet. We got Jared Runner in the house. A lot of people hopping in. I appreciate this. We got Movies and Sue. We got Ryan from The Disconnected. Check him out on Thursday nights at 9:30. Uh, let's see. We got Mika in the house and hopefully Kira as well, saying hello to everyone. A lot of people. Thank you everyone for hopping in. Thank you for saying hi to each other. Keep the conversation going.
Yep.
Fuzz. We got to get Fuzz on here soon too. I would love to speak to you, sir. We got Lance Jackson, always telling us what he's watching and what he loves. Magic Hands, what's up, Mike? Who else? We got Bobby Blue in the house. Uh, he also has a Remembering Anton Yelchin stream going tonight, so check him out if you get a chance as well. Alex Zorba. Okay. Let's see, skipping down. We got Caveman coming over. The Will Smith thing. I saw him do it in yours too.
Yep.
We
Yep.
more importantly, we got Miss Caveman. Hello. Wesley. The names just continue. We appreciate it. Brian, Trippy Critic. We got Spicy in the house. What's up? All right. Movie Schmovie. First time watching. Well, thank you and welcome. Hope you like what you see. We got Garrett from Born to Be Rad in the house. How the hell did you get Jeff? Hell is freezing over. Glad to see this. Jeff could tell you I've been after him for a year.
You've been
So
trying for no, and it's honestly, it's been so crazy. Life has been crazy, but I said one day
hmm
I'm gonna do this. I
Con-
told you I'd be here at one point.
congrats, you're a family of four now, man. How's it feel?
I know it's
What's
wild,
up,
and
Huck?
my wife was out tonight, so I was on single dad duty before I came on the
Woo!
stream. So I was like rushing, putting kids to bed. I was like, I got a stream to do.
Doing dinner, all that. You know what?
Yep.
You never let anyone say that you're babysitting your kids. Don't
No,
go for that.
dads don't
That's
babysit.
bold.
Yeah,
No, you pay babysitters.
right.
4K media guy in the house. A lot of people. Thank you for everyone. What's up, Killa? I see you. All right. Uh, hey, what's up, Corey? Cool. All right. I'm gonna hop into the questions for Jeff because we only have him for an hour. What's up, Tim? So being that you gave me a year to come up with questions, I have a non-movie question to start off with, and you have your choice. You could go fashion or you could go sports.
Ooh. Uh, I'm curious. Let me go fashion.
All right. So this is actually from my wife. For a
Okay.
while there, she was loving the Patagonia LL Bean runway model look that you had going on.
Yep.
and she wanted to know, are they Christmas presents? Does his wife dress him? What's the deal?
No, well, honestly, first of all, like you live up here in New Hampshire now. I was in Massachusetts, North Massachusetts. Now I'm in New Hampshire. I mean, it's friggin'
Hmm.
cold.
Yeah.
So you just now and LL Bean, right, is right in Maine where I spend a lot of time, and they have
Hmm.
outlet stores everywhere. So
Yeah.
I got some Patagonia stuff. I bought it on myself though. Patagonia started, and then I was like, you know what? I got an LL Bean on every corner up here in New England. I
Yeah.
just started. I was like, I'm there. They got outlet stores, which you don't get anywhere else, and the deals are crazy.
Hmm.
And I'm like a big size, like a double XL, so a lot of stuff's like dirt cheap because nobody buys the big sizes. So
Right. Big and
that's what
talls.
happened. I just keep hitting. I keep hitting the outlets. I keep hitting an extra, and they do tall sizes too, which I need.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I can't buy
I'm six
double
five. What are
XL.
you?
I'm 6'2.5", almost 6'3".
Yeah.
So I can't buy a double XL shirt
Hmm.
because it's just too wide. It's too baggy, but it's not long enough. So LL Bean is one of the few places where I can buy an extra large tall shirt. So and sweatshirts and crew necks and everything. So I just went nuts
Yeah.
with LLB and stuff. But that's mostly me, although my wife encourages it for sure.
I hear you. I hear you. I That's good. We could avoid sports because I know Boston guy, New York guy,
Hey,
we have our history. But it was actually going to be a basketball one, so time permitting, I'll come back to it.
yeah.
But let's see. Okay, so let's just state the obvious. As far as YouTubing and everything, your site has been a success. As far as going from 1K, 10K, 100K plus now. What do you attribute most to the channel's success?
Well, I mean, number one, it's the people, right? Without the community of collectors, and I think a lot of people kind of found physical media again during COVID. That's when the channel really blew up. There weren't
Hmm.
movies in theaters. You couldn't go see a movie, and people started kind of just buying stuff again, I think, at home to watch. And so that blew it up. I attribute some of it to that for sure. Like COVID was obviously a horrible thing, but it did change the way some people thought about movies and entertainment, and that drove a lot. But other than that, it's just the community of people have just embraced the content, and I've just tried to be consistent as I can. Like I try to get it's been rough lately. The summer's always tough because there's so much going on
Yeah,
with kids and family and everything else. I know you just said you got back from Aruba, which is nice, and I was
I've
off
been
work
trying to
for a
get
couple
back into
weeks
it for
too.
2 weeks.
Yeah, and
So,
I've been off for a couple weeks from work on I had the second half of my paternity leave, so
hmm,
I had a couple weeks off to just do some stuff. It's hard, but the consistency is the key. I mean, you do these if you do these streams every week, that stuff starts to snowball, but people need to realize how long it takes too because I mean, I started October, September of 2017.
yeah,
So, and I didn't hit 100K. And like, obviously, that's a big achievement, but like, it took 5 years of consistent 2 to 3 times a week uploading, going hard on social media. It's
plateauing.
oh yeah, you plateau a few times. Like, and I
Yeah.
always wondered where it was going to be. Like, I thought, you know what? It's 50K. And then you plateau, and then you get a little bump from something else, and you find a new audience, and then you plateau, and then you get a little bump. And I'm sort of in a little plateau now. I hit 100K, and it's been, I'm at like 112 now, but it's been a little slow. It's slower than it was, and it'll come back. It
Hmm.
goes up and down. You just can't
Yeah.
get discouraged, is the thing, and then just, I don't know, just be real. Just be like, just be upfront and honest and transparent with people. I think that helps.
Yeah.
But there's no magic
Um,
wand. I'll say that for sure. Like a lot of it's luck too. Like no joke. Like it's luck. One video
yeah.
gets picked up by the algorithm, and all of a
And
sudden you get 5,000 subscribers in a month, and it's like, oh, that's you
it's
do
so
that a few
strange
times.
what the algorithm picks up on too.
It is.
It,
I have some videos that I'm like, this is gonna be it, and it gets 5,000 views, and I have some that I think are kind of like throwaways, just me off the cuff talking,
hmm
200,000 views in a month, and I'm like, I don't know what works, so you just have to be consistent and keep throwing stuff
It's
out
true.
there.
It's true. So, how long would you say you've been collecting now? Not only just like the Blu-rays, 4Ks, but going back DVDs, VHS, if you go that far back, so forth.
Yeah, I mean, I was never old enough to like buy DVDs, VHS myself. So that's like
Hmm.
my dad had, my parents had a VHS collection. We had all the Disney VHS. Always had that growing up. We had a lot of bootlegs that they recorded off of HBO back in the day. Hopefully, statute of limitations is up on that. Now that I'm now that I'm saying it out loud, but we had a lot of physical media, and then my dad got into DVD very early on. I remember we were Costco members and we bought a ton of those big Costco DVD sets that like the bottom half was just like cardboard. I don't know why they made them so tall.
Yeah,
I don't know
I remember those.
if you've ever seen them, but we had
What a
tons.
waste of packaging.
Such a waste. But we had tons. Like we would be there every weekend. I had two brothers. We were a family of five. We were buying in
Hmm.
bulk, so we were there like every week, every 2 weeks, and we'd always pick up a DVD. So we had a bunch of DVDs, a few hundred. And then when I got out of high school and I had a few jobs and started making some money, that's when I started getting into it myself. And it's been about 10 years now since I bought my first Blu-ray. So I actually got into Blu-ray late. Like we're talking like 2012,
Hmm.
2013 was when I bought my first Blu-ray. So it had already been out for like 5 years at that point before I'd ever bought one. And I was
Yeah.
ignorant to it. I had no idea. Like I got Netflix DVDs through the mail, and I was like, "This is that's all I knew." Yeah,
Hmm.
I didn't know Blu-ray. We didn't have a Blu-ray player. I never got a PlayStation 3. I was an Xbox guy. So like I never had the player, never had the curiosity. Like so it happened by chance. I bought a surround sound system that had a Blu-ray player attached to
Yep.
it, a real cheap surround sound system. But I was like, oh well, let's try it. And I popped in a DVD, and I was like, this is an HD. It looks terrible. This thing doesn't even work. And then I found, oh, you gotta buy the right discs. Then it will look
Yeah.
good. Like I was so
Hmm.
confused the first few months. So I always try to be nice to new collectors because it's confusing. There's a lot to learn.
I will say though, your choice of actor to start off with was impeccable. We share a
Thank you.
favorite actor in Denzel,
Yep.
and I know that's how you started off your Blu-ray collecting and everything like that. So, with that in mind, everybody knows the big ones. Training Day just came out recently, and even like the stuff that you see on streaming recently, like Macbeth. But what if you could name like three underrated Denzel movies that not enough people talk about? What would you say?
Probably go with the Bone Collector is a good one.
Mm,
That's a lot of fun. Also, Fallen is another one. If no, those two are both similar. I like that kind of movie. I like that kind of crime thriller. So those
mm-hmm.
two tie together. And then I think a lot of people know like Man on Fire, which is a personal favorite of mine. But around that same
Yeah.
time period, Deja Vu. I mean, a lot of people may know that one, but I don't think it's as well known as Man on Fire. Deja Vu is really good too, and it's got that same kind of like stylistic, kind of weird. So yeah, those three, I mean, those aren't like maybe necessarily deep cuts, but I never hear anybody talk about those when they talk Denzel. They talk Training Day, they talk Malcolm X, they talk like the big
Mm-hmm.
ones, and I just love
Yeah.
those three.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize that he started in comedies. Someone,
Yeah,
um, Alex Orber just mentioned the Mighty Quinn, and
I
was it Carbon Copy that he was in?
think so. Yeah,
Yeah, he had a couple of comedies under his belt getting started, just like Tom Hanks. People don't realize that he was in comedies to start with. So,
yep.
uh, let's check in. Yeah, American Gangster. A lot of people don't talk about that, and I mean, you're surrounded by big names. You got a big name director. You got a big name co-star.
Right.
Uh, Another forgotten Denzel. Heart Condition. Yeah, good one, Johnny. Yeah. Uh, Catch up on a couple of highlights here. We saw Marie, then Martinez Joe came in.
Hey,
See, there you go. There's your OG right there. Since you had under
he
500
was
subs.
one of the first. Back when I was just doing Instagram stuff, he was on the page. Yeah, he's an OG for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
And I think between you and him were the first time I heard that magnificent word, bull moose.
Have you been?
I am going to finally make my pilgrimage this fall.
Awesome. Good time to come.
Lord willing, I'm going to be up there, going to the Salem store.
Oh yeah, that one's that's the closest one to me. That's about 15 minutes from my house now.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah. It's a
I'll
couple
let you
exits
know
down
when.
on the highway.
Let's see. COVID made the physical and home media. It did. It got me back into collecting because it's
It
like
did.
no, nothing on TV. I mean, ESPN was dead. They were
Right.
showing shuffleboard, so it was like I might as well watch some movies. We got
Yep.
quietly saying hello, hello to you. We got the dude, movie hunter. Salute, my friend. Smash that like button, like he said. Excelsior movie reviews saying the stream is awesome. Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Yeah, this is another one of mine here, talking about Movie Hunter,
Yeah.
Book of Eli.
I almost
Freaking
threw
love
that
that
in there.
movie.
I saw that in theaters and I love it.
Yeah.
You know what's another good one? Safe House with Ryan Reynolds.
So my son is 26 and he had just gotten his first job and he saved up his money, his little waiter money, and he got me
Yeah.
that on Blu-ray. Big deal when it first came out to get it on Blu-ray.
Yep.
I took 4 years to finally crack it open and watch, and it just became like a running joke. He's like, oh, I'm sure his son probably, or his dad probably saw Safe House. It just went on and on. So I was like, fine, I'll watch it. It was okay. I enjoyed
It's
it. I
fun.
like
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Yeah,
A
it's
lot
a
of
fun
people are
one.
saying Ricochet.
Yeah.
A lot of things for Ricochet. What's
He's
up,
got
Dell?
an
Hope you
incredible
enjoyed your
catalog.
movie. Hope you enjoyed your birthday there, Dell. Yes, that will be cool, Martinez Joe. Getting to meet you and Marie and Gary. That'll be fun. Yeah, a lot of Book of Eli, a lot of Ricochet.
Yeah.
He got game. Yeah, they're just messing around with that release. I think it's DVD only, never been on Blu-ray.
It's crazy.
So
Ray Allen
yeah,
needs to tell him to get it out there.
Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Yeah.
What's up, Trini? Salute, salute, my dude. Van Gould says Denzel and Chris Pine Unstoppable. That was a good one too.
Yeah.
I like that one. I
Denzel
like
doesn't
that one
have
a
he
lot.
doesn't have too many misses, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Um.
Most
Oh
of
my
them are at
gosh,
least like decent enough that you watch and you can enjoy them. He doesn't have too many misses.
it's true. On Dell on movies, his channel the other night they did a movie swap with him and 4K Lowdown, and they were talking about fences. And
Mm.
between Denzel and Viola Davis, you got two actors there that it's you're hard pressed to put them in a role and say, "Oh, they were terrible," or "That
No,
movie got
yeah.
worse as they got involved." No,
No.
they'll shine a piece of you know what. Ooh, here's a good
She
one.
was good in Suicide Squad and nobody was good in Suicide the first one.
Nobody was gonna. Your boy is in here, Terrell. Hey,
Terrell.
what's up? That's my dude, man. Um, where do we want to go with this? So at this point, are you more? I've seen many of your videos where you talk about cutting back and selling and Marie Kondoing your collection. Are
Yeah.
you more of a curator now, or still first and foremost a collector?
I'm still a collector, but I'm more selective.
Mm,
Like, yeah, I've gone from, just give me everything and give me and the other thing was too, it wasn't just give me everything, but it was just give me the first thing. And
mm,
now with all the options we have, um, with like Second Sight and like, A24's got their exclusives and there's so many limited editions and you can get stuff overseas pretty easily now. The things
mm-hmm.
Australian companies are doing at Umbrella Entertainment and Imprint and like some of those box sets. I've just been
Yep.
more selective about like I'm not just running out and buying the first copy of a lot of stuff. It's like let me think about this for a second. Um, even the other day buying like the Manchurian Candidate on 4K, it was like, do I do it? Do I keep my Criterion? But when I do
Yeah.
something like that, this may be blasphemy for some people, but I do go and I sell the Criterion because I'm like, you know what? I spent the money to upgrade it. I don't need
Right.
two copies of it. So I do, if I upgrade, I sell them or give them to family sometimes. But yeah,
Yeah. I'm selective when it comes to like getting rid of criterions. So like I did the same thing. Where is it? I didn't even open it up yet. But 12 Angry Men,
yeah,
I did that upgrade from the Criterion Blu-ray, and I'm like, I really like the features on there.
right,
And that's how I'm justifying it. But usually, my daughter, she gets the we don't even call it hand-me-downs. We call it building her collection.
hmm,
So it was like, oh, I got Taxi Driver on 4K, you could have the Blu-ray.
yeah,
Or, I upgraded this DVD to this 4K, like After Hours or whatever the case may be. You could get the original one because she just wants to see the movie at this point. She still has
right,
like a 1080 TV in her room or whatever. And she's just happy that she doesn't have to come down here or go look for it on streaming or whatever. She could just grab it off her shelf. So it's good
yep,
that way. But after like all these years of like the film reviews, doing the stuff online, now video, like where do you see not only collecting, but also film critique, which kind of say that was your bread and butter getting started. Where do you see that going? Whereas, years before we had to rely on a Siskel and Ebert
yeah,
for critique. Now we got anybody could show up on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm just thinking because um, I saw Oppenheimer last night, and I'll just give you a little preview. It was good. It was good. Technically, one of his best movies. But, we had somebody who's a popular reviewer come and rip it apart, and they're in the minority trying to be their own Pauline Kael kind of thing. But at the same time, a lot of people won't go and see it because that one
yeah.
critic said something that, was detrimental to the movie. So, how do you see like how collectors affect like when we do reviews on our YouTube channel, and then even on a larger scale, how do you see film critics and podcasters, which we'll talk about, how do you see them affecting people today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is something that I've said it on my channel a lot of times is that like and people obviously don't agree with every review I give, and I'm like, that doesn't necessarily bother me because you should, for anything, if you're trying to get your news, you should get it from 8 different sources and pull together your own facts here and your own version of what all these other people are saying. Like you can't go to one source for anything. Like I would never tell
Mm-hmm.
people, hey, watch my 4K review. It's the right one, and don't watch anybody else's because they have different perspectives, different life experiences. They may have different setups, which could affect certainly reviews. Like I have an OLED TV. If you don't, maybe I'm seeing something different than what you are. Maybe another reviewer is seeing something different on their QLED or just a regular LED TV. Like we
Right.
don't know. So that's part of it is like you got to make up your own opinion based off of what you're being fed from multiple sources. But like I don't, you can't take one source as the source
Mm-hmm.
of truth for everything. Like everybody's gonna have different bits and pieces. You're gonna pick up some stuff from me that you don't get from somebody else, and stuff from them you don't get from me. And same with film reviews. It's like there's so many options now. It's a good thing because like you don't have to rely on Siskel and Ebert or like A.O. Scott at New York Times who always did reviews. Like there were like 5 people doing movie reviews. Then you'd have like local
Right.
critics and small newspapers. But now you have literally thousands of people, diverse group of people, different life experiences, different viewpoints. Films affect them a different way. You can find somebody that thinks the same way as you or has shared experiences where you couldn't do that before. So it's like a blessing and a curse. I mean, there's so much out there that you're gonna have people who purposely give like a negative review just to be edgy and get the clicks or
Yeah.
whatever, or like be like, I thought that movie was awesome, and like everybody else is like, it's really really bad. Like there's always going to be the contrarian who's just like, I know I'm going to get some clicks if I say the opposite. But I think as long as you're smart about it, media literacy, that's a big piece of all of this.
It is
Understanding
true.
that that nobody has that one source of truth for anything, and you need to do some of your own research, but also get it from reliable sources and pair it all together. And that's how you form your own thoughts and viewpoints. And if
That's
I
true.
don't know, I could never just take one person's viewpoint and be like, that's also my viewpoint, because nobody's the same. So
I
that's
want
my
to come back
perspective
to
on it.
that. I want to come back to that, but let's check in with the comments, and we'll pick up where we left off with that. So Bruce asks, are any of the Peter Sellers movies coming to 4K? Have you heard anything?
No, but mm, see, I wonder with that one, they make sense to come to 4K, like technically, but I wonder
Yeah,
sales wise, is there enough of the audience that's buying 4K discs right now that has overlap with being big Peter Sellers fans?
yeah. The only thing I could think of is like the Pink Panther movies that
Those would be
might
probably
move.
the only ones. Yeah. The
Yeah,
rest of it might be too obscure right now for 4K.
true,
Not
true.
that it's obscure, but just won't sell enough.
Yeah. Couple more here. Saw the uh, Digital Bits post about 4K coming out for Prey. I think you were talking about this in your stream.
Yeah.
If you want to address it again.
Yeah, no, it's definitely happening. There's some movement at Disney, Fox. There's stuff happening there, but Prey is gonna happen. I think somebody finally slapped someone across the face and said, "It's one of the biggest movie franchises out there. You know this will sell. You need money.
Hmm.
Why, like, put it
Yeah,
out there?" Especially because it wasn't like it was Disney Plus or anything. It was Hulu. So like,
Hulu. Yeah,
get it
so
out
many
there.
Hulu releases.
Yeah,
And for those that follow it, it swept up at Fangoria Awards. So you're
yeah.
gonna have sci-fi and horror fans that will
Oh
want to
yeah.
get it. And it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Big
Uh,
crossover there. Yeah.
Going back to us talking about Criterion upgrades, uh, Dangerous Devil says maybe controversial. Criterion has fallen off a bit. I don't think that's that controversial. I think a lot of people are saying that. I think there, and James from 20th and 21st, if you're still in the chat, you might want to chime in on this. I think they're still in the tail end of doing that reaction to the New York Times article where people are saying not enough people of color, not enough women, not enough directors from different countries that we haven't touched on yet, too much Ozu and Scorsese, which there's no such thing as too much Scorsese for me, but too much of that. And that's why last year was the year of Denzel and we got three releases. And I think they came into the 4K game so late that they're playing catch up, and I don't think they're giving themselves enough time to, well, at least get a new interview for this 4K upgrade, or try to get this person to do a commentary or whatever the case may be. They're just like, well, just get out there. People will buy it. People will buy it. If something is out of print, like that's
Uh-oh.
what happens when you put your phone on Do Not Disturb and you still get a call. Um, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
Okay. Yeah. Bringing back The Princess Bride on 4K was great because the storybook was out of print for a while, but I think they're just too much in a rush to make up for lost time. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. A lot of it, that article that came out, but then also the fact that they were late to 4K and then they had to sort of overcorrect there to get back to where collectors wanted to be. Because if you ask them, and I did ask them, and like their email team is pretty cool about it, they will actually like email you back.
Hmm.
There's one guy over there who like you can email and he will respond. And his response to me was always, "We don't think there's a market for our collectors for 4K yet. We still sell more DVDs than Blu-rays." Is what he kept. This was the answer to stock answer for years and years and years. And then I
Yeah.
think they just got Kino started picking up licenses to all the stuff that they put out.
12 Angry Men.
And yeah, I mean, they have taken so much of the Criterion catalog. It's almost like they just said, we're going after Criterion because they're not doing it. We're going to try
Yep.
to get the licensing to those and put them out. and then others, you know, Arrow Video has picked up a few things, and other labels, Show Factory. So like, I think it's all
100%.
reactionary, and they're all just trying to catch up so quick, and maybe not being like thoughtful about it.
Yeah, very true. Um, One more. Tim says, I noticed that some 4K re-releases don't carry over all the features that they had on the old Blu-ray. Do you find yourselves keeping the old Blu-rays? Yeah, so kind of like what we were saying, it all depends on the title for me. Sometimes I could give it up. So, for example, the Rocky 4Ks, I was okay giving it up because I could count on my left hand the amount of times I'll watch it. But, you know, all the features and all that, I went through it once and I was good. But I tend to rewatch more of like the Criterions and the second sites. Like the other night, my wife had never seen The Witch, and I broke out the second site. I was like, "Oh, let me show you the right way to watch
So
this
good.
movie."
Yeah, that one's excellent.
And yeah, so you know, things like that you want to rediscover over and over. Right now, I have like three tabs on my laptop over here, one for Orbit DVD, one for Grindhouse, and one for um, Diabolic. Just going back to what you were saying about it being so easy to like get boutiques and
Yeah.
foreign stuff now. Like I was trying to find a decent price for the It Follows Blu-ray Steelbook, and then lo and behold, second site comes to the rescue. I'm like, I'd rather have that. Here's an interesting question, and this is for both of us. Have either of you tried to watch a movie using descriptive audio? I have to say I did it by mistake. I put on like the captioning, and then I put on the audio, and it was describing it. And I think I let it rock for like 10 minutes, and then I changed it back. I realize the importance of it, but I'm a captions person. I'll put it on because, you know, somebody sounds like Bane or with a weird accent. I want to
Yeah,
pick up everything. But yeah,
I hear you.
that's my limit. How about you?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done, maybe by accident a couple times, but I've never watched a movie with one. But I know that's come up a lot. People have asked me that. I guess a lot of newer releases or 4Ks aren't maybe including them, and it is kind of ruling out people who need that. So
Yeah,
I've actually talked to some people about like the accessibility of that, and like why you've always included them. Why are you now pulling it off? You know, if you have captions, you should have that as well.
yeah. I think it's important. I think it's important. And just one more on the Criterion, Dell asks, how do you feel about Criterion re-releasing 4K with the same artwork features? I'm always up for new artwork, especially since I know a few people and I've almost done it myself. You know, you're out there in July or November and you pick up a Blu-ray thinking it's a 4K because you didn't look to see if it's a blue or a silver sticker until you get home and you're like, oh, come on. And you got to go back to the store to exchange
Yeah.
it. And you're wondering why it was a little bit less than what you anticipated.
Yeah, I do think that's kind of confusing when they do that because it really is just the sticker is the only indicator, and somebody who's
Hmm.
brand new to collecting is not going to know that.
None the
So
wiser.
they're doing themselves a little bit of a disservice by not making them look different, or at least having some sort of banner on the package itself versus just the sticker that clearly says 4K.
Yeah, yeah, true. Uh, Sony recently released 4K steelbooks with upgrades to the size of the disc as well as Dolby Vision. Are they indeed limited editions? And once they're sold out, will they be no longer available? I don't know.
I don't think anything is truly sold out anymore. You may have
No.
like Lionsgate does, where you get like first pressing or
Yeah,
something. But if they sell well enough, like they're bringing Lawrence of Arabia back.
which I
They're
need.
right. They're repressing that, which was selling for like $8,000 on eBay. You're going to be able to get it for $20 at Best Buy in a few months. So
Yeah,
I always would say something like that that you know is popular, like Lawrence of Arabia. It's going to come back around.
yeah. I know people will be, well, resellers will be really mad if they decide to do a second pressing of American Psycho because they're
Oh
making
my
a
god.
killing off of that one.
I know that one's crazy, and I think they will. That's a no-brainer for them to do another pressing.
Yeah,
Popular movie, big actor, great artwork. They'll do it. It's so I would
yeah,
say don't go out and pay the resellers. It's going to come back at some point.
and award-winning packaging. It won a Clio award for that packaging. So on
Right.
that on top of everything else. All right. Um, so my other questions here. So because people don't think you buy your own movies, do you have a budget for what you spend in a month, or do you just like try to maintain as you go along?
I tried. I don't have a strict budget where I'm like, hey, it's $200 a month. But I definitely pay attention to it. A lot of it has to do with um, if I'm going to upgrade something like, and I do buy a lot of movies myself. Like I just bought The Night of the Hunter and Manchurian Candidate on 4K. I
Nice.
bought those knowing in my head that I said, okay, I'm going to sell the Criterions, so it's going to be a wash. You know what I mean? So like, I have to kind of go through that, especially with the family and the kids. It's like, money's money's not fun for anybody right now. It's tight everywhere, so you got to be smart. But yeah, Criterion, same thing. I've never bought a full price Criterion. I buy them 50% off only. I will wait, and there are movies that I wanted that I just say, too bad. I've got to wait for that sale. So I try to be smart about it. Anything I buy, I just bought Evil Dead 2013 on 4K from Scream Factory.
It's so good.
Um, I made sure that I sold my Blu-ray to offset some of that. So like that's kind of how I've been doing it, especially upgrading. But I
Hmm.
mean, there's some that I just buy. I mean, I should have a Vinegar Syndrome budget for the last couple of months just for them. It's been,
Or a
but like,
subscription.
yeah, I mean, I've seriously considered it because I'm like, man, what I'm spending. They have great sales. I mean, I had 1,500 or 2,000 movies before I ever got sent one. It's a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that I
Hmm.
have access to that, and I'm very thankful for it. But there's a lot of stuff I still buy. You'd be surprised, even mainstream stuff. We don't get everything. Like
True.
I didn't get Jaws 2 sent to me. I went out and bought this
Right.
one on Amazon. Like you don't even the major releases and definitely the boutique stuff you do not get most of it. You barely ever get. I've never got a Criterion. I've got maybe one from Shout Factory. I've never
Hmm.
had a Vinegar Syndrome sent. Like, I've never had Kino Lorber send me stuff in over 4 years. I buy all that stuff myself. So yeah, I buy plenty. I know that's the thing. Oh, he doesn't buy them. It's whatever. But I do.
Well,
Trust me. And I bought many before I ever got one. That's the
I
bulk of the
I
collection.
hear I hear a little voice. Do you need to address that little voice,
Oh, she's okay.
or is she just cooing and playing?
She's she's mostly just trying to put herself back to sleep.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
but
If
we're
you needed
okay.
to, I was gonna say go ahead and do that.
No, no, no. If you're okay, if it's too loud, just let me know. I can try
Oh
to.
no, 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 no. Hey, dad first. So,
Yeah. Well,
it's like my antennas went off when I heard that. I
my
was like,
wife's
you
gonna be
probably got the
home in like.
monitor there.
Oh,
He's
I've got.
listening.
Oh, right here, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got the monitor. It's down there. That was going off too. So I try. Yeah, it's the whole thing. My wife's gonna. She said she'd be home in like 2 minutes, so I was gonna let her
Okay.
try to
So
put
we're
herself
cool.
back to sleep. Yeah, this is the little one. This is the daughter. My son sleeps through the night. He's good. He's gonna be 2 in September, so
That's
he's good. He's
beautiful.
passed out, but our daughter's not quite 6 months yet, so we still get a fight.
We have a comment and a couple of questions in the chat. James did chime in. I don't know if you know him, 20th and 21st movies. He primarily does Criterion. He's getting into Arrow in the last year or so, but he said the last 2, 3 years, Criterion has definitely expanded the tent, bringing in more filmmakers from different backgrounds. Late to the 4K format, but they're picking up steam on that front. It's true. And I think the people that complain, well, they only put out X amount in a month, it's more like they were doing that when it was just Blu-rays, but everyone just wants everything 4K now, and it doesn't work like that. And the other thing I was going to say is, like we were saying, they were kind of late to it, but I notice now they're making a shift away from DVD, and I know a lot of libraries depend on those Criterion DVDs just to keep your library stocked with media. So, something has to give one way or the other. Melissa says, congratulations on the baby. He's a daddy of two now.
That's
and
it though.
and Spicy wants to know,
No,
Jeff, how do you feel about that hat KB is wearing?
look, look. if you asked me in 2003, I might have said, "Oh, I'm not a huge fan." But you ask me now, we've won our World Series. I don't have any hate for anybody.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
you got past it.
That rivalry was hot in the early 2000s, even into
Yep.
like '05, '06, and yeah, I mean, and I'm like in high school, I'm like, yeah, the Yankees, like,
Yeah.
of
And
course,
we're
but
saying the same thing about Boston. Yeah.
exactly. But you know what? I think as you get a little bit older, you realize it's all just baseball too, and the guys don't take it that seriously on the teams. So,
hmm
but I'll
Oh
always
yeah.
give
I
props
mean, Johnny
to
Damon was the best example. Once Johnny
yeah,
Damon made the switch, I was like, it's not real anymore. It's not
right.
real anymore.
Except for when Joe Kelly came in and beat that guy down. That was a fun one. They had a little bit of
Yeah.
a reignition of the rivalry there, like 2013, 14,
hmm
15. That was, I mean, it's fun to be honest, but
It's fun.
I got no hate for
N-
the Yankees. I would love to go to Yankee
Nah.
Stadium and see a game. I mean, that would
I'd
be
love to
awesome.
go to the yard.
I just
And
love
I'd love to
baseball.
come up and sit by the monster. It's all
Yeah, I
great.
just love baseball, and they got a bunch of great players that are fun to watch. I mean, who doesn't love watching Aaron Judge? So,
Judge is the best, man. Hawk wants to know if you're ready for Barbenheimer.
dude, I'm like, I think we're gonna. I don't. I got to figure out where I want to see Oppenheimer because that's a
Yeah.
big piece of it, and I don't have a ton of options near me, so I may need to travel for that one. I think
hmm
I'm probably gonna see Barbie first. I know my wife's
Yeah.
all in on Barbie. She's like, we're getting a babysitter. We're going to see Barbie. So
Aw.
I know that
This,
one's happening.
this is a good time for some self-promotion. If you guys want to hang out in about, I don't know, about a half hour from now, I'm supposed to be doing a live recording of my podcast. I have this podcast called The Center Seat. That's my friend Kate, and that's Mr. Oppenheimer between us. We went and checked it out, and we want to see if we can record a podcast episode on YouTube live, but we got to see how this works out. It might not happen. That's just how we roll. Um, I want to go back to what we were talking about before with the film reviews and all that. And a lot of people feel like sometimes when you get free movies or, you do reviews for studios based on, like Warner Brothers sent me Vacation or Kino Lorber sent me 12 Angry Men, whatever the case may be, that you may be like beholden to those studios, like they're looking for you to make positive reviews. And there was an opportunity not too long ago where I think it was Biovision with the Saw bear trap, reverse bear trap thing, that everybody got theirs. It was broken, it was crappy. And then I think you did a review, Heath did a review, and then everybody, well, not everybody, a lot of people was upset that your review was positive for that. And I don't know. What do you see in that? Going back to what you were saying, you can't take one person's review, but how did you
Yeah.
see that situation? Because I saw it blow up in your comments as well. I
Yeah.
want to give you a platform to explain and clear the air.
Yeah. I mean, in to be fair, I did. I'm pretty sure I mentioned in there that people had the issues. All I was saying with my personal experience and the one that I got actually was broken too, which I think here's the thing. I think the comments a lot of times don't watch the whole video. So
True.
um, mine was broken. I took some super glue to it. It was luckily a pretty easy fix that you could just super glue a piece back on. Um, but it was broken and I addressed that. And then I did talk about how they definitely had issues. So, I can only tell you what I get, which was, yeah, broken, disappointing. Luckily, could fix it. Still thought it was a cool set, of course, but
Right.
recognized that they had issues and told people that Umbrella was and Via Vision were sending replacements, which I think got really crazy because it's Australia. A lot of people in the U.S. bought it. I think that didn't go well for them, to be fair, and I know that was the case. I don't know people there, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean that's the thing is like you get stuff sent to you. I mean, I've given plenty of negative reviews on. It's not like I just give the negative ones to the ones I have to buy. I've had.
Right.
I was like, I mean, I still have a hard time talking to Disney because I was tough on them. Like, they didn't want to talk to me at all for a while, and then kind of realized, hey, I think these people are right, and now they're coming back around a little bit to like, we need to talk to these collectors who were upset
Yeah.
because they have a point and we want to get back into that market. But like, I wasn't shy about that. I mean, definitely hurt. It hurt opportunities for sure. I can tell you that 100%. It led to
Yeah.
less opportunities to be, whether it was invited to things, which doesn't happen that often, or just getting on a press list for something, or getting a cool box that other people would get that I would not get. Like,
Hmm.
but that's the thing. I mean, you just gotta be transparent. And like, if I do get something and I think it's good, or mine came in one piece, I can't just trash it because I got what I got. I need to give my review of the item I got, but I will address like if there's issues that
Yeah.
other people are having, if I know about them, which at the time I did. Like, I try to at least address that. You try to give a fair review. Like, even if you like it, other people have an issue with something, you can bring that up and still give a positive review. I just think people, it's just like the news. You see a 30-second snippet and you go to the comments. And it's like, well, wait, later on in the
Hmm.
video, I address this and I talk about, I spent a couple minutes talking about that whole issue in that video, but I bet a lot of people didn't get there. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's just, it is what it is. It's immediate reaction sometimes, and you don't get the
Yeah.
whole picture if you don't watch the whole video.
I could tell you personally, I am not on Sony's good list because just like you were saying, some critics are, they take it one way or the other. Some
Yeah.
studios are sensitive,
Oh yeah.
and they didn't like a review I did of a certain movie, and it was a print review, and I haven't gotten anything since.
And it's
No
funny because
explanation given.
yeah, some of them will just do that, but some of them I'll give credit to, like, to Paramount, who I was tough on a few of their releases. I mean,
Hmm.
they were we actually had a good I had a phone call with them about this stuff. Like,
Oh
I
wow.
think you guys need to do better. I mean, they took it seriously and took the feedback. I mean, I had one of the guys from Paramount on my podcast. Like, there's no ill will. They actually took it in a way that I think you should, which is it's constructive criticism and feedback for what went wrong. So try to fix it versus, all right, let's just blacklist that person and ignore
Right.
that. And then it just gets worse. So I'll
Right.
give credit to some of them are very receptive. Some of them have come around over the years and
Hmm.
realize what people are saying. But I think you have to do that because you're just opening up the floodgates for like stuff to get worse if you don't talk about issues. You have to hold them to. People are spending a lot of money on this stuff. You got to hold them to that.
Yeah. You just mentioned my favorite episode of the podcast when you had the guy from Paramount Presents on. I think he was working on Red Eye, and believe it or not, as much as I love Wes Craven, I was not planning to get that. And based on that episode, I was like, all right, I'll support it. And I went
Yeah,
out and where is it? Somewhere here. Oh, here it is.
it's a
I
good
went out
one.
and yeah, it's a good disc, and the features are excellent.
Yeah,
So, as we get ready to land a plane and answer the five takes, tell us about the podcast. Tell us about this rumor you were just talking about in your previous live stream too.
yeah. So I'm tossing around an idea. So the podcast, I've been doing the podcast for like about a year and a half, I think. There's about, I want to say 40 episodes, 45 maybe, where I've interviewed. I've talked to actors. I've talked to director actually one time of one of my favorite Christmas movies, Jingle All the Way, which was super cool. Talked to lots of collectors, talked to people who work on special features, who work at the studios or who used to work at the studios. The guy who did the Godfather restoration, we talked to him. Like Vinegar Syndrome's archive team, talked to them. So lots of interesting people, like very specific to physical media, which has been fun. But that list starts to run short. Like, how many people can you talk to within physical media? It's a tight group. There's not a ton of people. So what I've been kind of tossing around is like bringing the podcast back or doing another one where I just talk to collectors, period, and
Yeah.
just talk about like collecting mindsets and like curating a collection and budgeting and like all the things you do as a collector, storage, the kind of unique little things of movie collecting or card collecting or coin collecting or vinyl collecting. Like, oh, we have our unique things in movies. Those same little quirks are in every other collector group. So it would be cool to
Mm-hmm.
just like
It's true.
grab a different collector each week because we're all pretty similar. We all have that same sort of, there's that collector mentality.
Yeah.
But it would just be really cool to like talk to a video guy who collects vintage video games or comic books or vinyl or other forms of media, um, to just talk like collecting the topic, which I think is a really neat sort of psychological thing that we all have. Like, why do we do it? How do we do it? How do you manage it? How do you not become a hoarder? Like, everyone's worried about that stuff in the back of their minds, no matter what you
Hmm.
collect. So I've been throwing that around as a possible idea for like when I bring it back. I won't have any episodes this summer. I take the summer off, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think when I come back in the fall, that might be something I do.
You have your first guest right here. Joe says he wants to be on since he collects movies and vinyl.
There we
You
go.
could talk to him about the importance of 180 grams on a vinyl record.
I could talk to Joe about is just he has so much media. Like, that would
I
be
know. I
actually a
know.
really good conversation about how you manage that. And they do their
A
sort of what made the shelf, what didn't. I like that kind of idea. It got me thinking about curating my own stuff, so that'd be
yeah.
a good one.
Couple of quick comments and we'll get into five takes. Melissa's in Toronto, so she's a Jays fan. So she hates both of us. Or both our teams. Sorry.
That's okay.
Dangerous Devil, film is art. Always be subjective. Yeah, it's always going to be
Absolutely.
subjective. Always. Johnny was at Fenway when Caveman returned. That was an interesting night. Fans throwing money on the field.
Hmm. Oh, we were not happy about that.
Silvani, nice Aruba. I miss it. I want to go back. I want to go back so
I've never
badly.
been. We're thinking about next year. Worth it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll give you a good place to stay. It was so good. If it's
Nice.
the four of you or if it's just the two of you,
I think we're
just
trying
let
to
me
bring
know.
the grandparents, maybe do a whole big family thing so
Oh
that we can
yeah,
so we can
instant
get away for a little
babysitters.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, let's do these five takes, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, number one, name the film that made you fall in love with the movies. I don't think you have to go too far to grab it. I see it right there.
I think that's fun. It's definitely Jaws, which
Uh-huh.
yeah,
I see it right there.
yeah, that's actually like the Life magazine cover, and then I've got all the different versions on that shelf. But
Hmm.
that's definitely the one that made me fall in love with the movies. But I will give a shout out because I've talked about Jaws a lot, so I'll give a shout out to the original King Kong, 1933. I
Uh-huh.
watched that. That's one of my earliest memories of watching a movie too. My grandparents had a VHS tape of Jaws and King Kong 1933. And
Wow.
between the two of those, with just the filmmaking and the practical effects and kind of the movie magic that was in both of those are the two. Like,
Yeah.
I got a real soft spot for the original King Kong because I mean, now you watch it and like, you see the cracks and you see the okay, but when you're 5 years old, 6 years old, that is like
Magic.
one of the wildest things you've ever seen. Yeah, it's
Magic.
incredible. So that's definitely up there too.
Yeah. I saw you talking about it on Twitter. They really need to do something for the
I'm waiting for it,
anniversary,
man. 90 years
for
this year
sure.
and nobody's even mentioned it.
It's crazy. Number two, name five of your favorite films. Not the five, just five of.
Five of, yeah. Well, I'll leave out Jaws because everybody knows that. I love Zodiac. That's my favorite
Mm,
Fincher movie, and I just think that is just top to bottom. Like, that movie, I think that's like Fincher's Oppenheimer. Like, from what I've heard about Oppenheimer with Christopher Nolan, like that's his technical, just like masterpiece, long movie, but perfect. I
hmm.
love that one. I really like Prisoners. I I know now it gets a lot of hype, but that movie's been out for 10 years and it feels like only in the last few years people have even paid attention to like how good it is. Um, and I love Denis Villeneuve's movies, and I saw that one in theaters. Like, I was an OG Prisoners fan. Like, I saw that in theaters and was convinced both those guys were going to win an Oscar, and they didn't even get nominated. Um, I walked out of there being like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Like, Hugh Jackman or
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal or someone's going to win. So that's definitely up there. I would say anything in the Halloween series, but especially the first Halloween, 1978.
78.
You
Yeah.
can't beat that. I love Halloween 2. I love Halloween 2018, but like that original is just again like just the perfect. I don't know. It launched a whole genre, so I
Yep.
love that one. Five of my. I gotta pick which five here. That was three. Let me dive. Let me dive deep. I want to pick
I'm
out some
still on
cool ones.
Zodiac, man, because no matter how many times I watch that movie,
It's
that
so good.
basement scene just
Oh, it's one of the scariest in movie history. Yeah,
thrilling.
yeah, it's incredible. And his recreation of like the first killing there in like the open field, but like that is just terrifying too.
Slow,
Yeah,
slow and precise.
yeah. I mean that movie's it's a masterpiece. I like a lot of stuff by Fincher. The Game is one of my favorites too. I really
Good
like
one.
that one. Um,
Good one.
Maybe an underrated one, but I love Arlington Road. And I recently did a video on
Ooh,
psychological thrillers, and
yeah.
I didn't put that in, and I'm like, I should have. I picked like five really like underrated, under the radar thrillers. That one is
Hmm.
so good, and it's like as relevant today as it ever was back then. Like it's not like it's outdated or anything. It has really a really cool theme, a really cool story, great actors, but a wild ride throughout that whole thing.
Yeah,
I love a good thriller, and Arlington Road is
yeah.
amazing. Um,
I'm with you,
yeah.
Johnny. I want Zodiac in 4K. I just went and rebought the Blu-ray because I can't wait anymore.
Well,
So,
I've heard he won't do it because it was shot on HD cameras.
oh,
It,
and it's gonna look crappy with
it was one of
the
those really
upscale.
early digitally shot movies, and he used like an HD camera. It was only shot at 1080p. So
Yeah. Wow.
that's what I've been told. He doesn't want to do it because he doesn't think it'll look right, and he's very particular about how his stuff looks. So
Very.
just putting out there,
Go
I'd love
go
it
buy the
too.
Blu-ray if you don't have
Yeah,
it.
I mean, definitely buy that. It looks fantastic. Um, Man, number five.
We'll come back, Cool to that.
Trying to think what I could put in there. You know what I really liked was Dressed to Kill.
Hmm.
That's a fun thriller. Did you buy?
Did
Did
I?
you upgrade?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a wild. That's a pretty cool one too. That's my kind of vibe. I mean, I could give you like go genre by genre and be like, here are my five favorite comedies, my five.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that kind of movie. It's gonna make me think. Like I'd throw Memento on that list too.
Hmm.
I like
Especially
when
the
the
DVD where you can watch it in forward.
yeah, I like something that makes me think and makes me watch it. Like the game, like Arlington Road. Like you watch it multiple times because you're still sort of trying to like just get the full picture. So
Yeah.
that's my kind of vibe. Those are five good ones.
Those are. Those are. Uh, Sergio, I'm excited for the others from Criterion. Yeah. You and
That's a
I
great
both.
one.
You and I both.
It's been out of print for a while
Um.
too.
Shoot. What was I going to say? Doesn't matter. We'll move on. Here's everyone's favorite question. Number three. Name a popular or a classic movie that everybody loves, but you can't stand.
So you say you had sent me. I was thinking about this one for a while,
Everybody does.
and I I don't I don't know that I can't stand this movie, but I don't love it the way some people love it. I don't really have much interest in like rewatching it, and it's The Shawshank Redemption.
Really?
I watched it.
Huh.
I'm like, yeah, it's a good movie, but like to be one of those movies that every time it's on, TV, you stop and watch because it's on TV all the time. You stop and
Yeah.
watch it. I'm like, I would do that for Jaws. I would do that for even like Con Air or some other favorites that I have. They're just like wild movies that I want to watch that are always on TV. I
Hmm.
just don't. The Shawshank, it's good, but I just don't have that like. I don't think it's like best movie of all time caliber like some people rank it. That's
It's
just
an
me.
investment too.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not a
just
short
so.
movie.
I watched it once and I said I am good. I think I'm good. And I just people rewatch it and love it and I get it. I mean, it's a very cool movie, but I don't know. That's the one. I'm gonna get hate for that. It's like IMDb's number one rated movie.
Believe me, Everybody feels like they're gonna get hate for answering that question. I think Mel from My Killer Podcast said The Godfather. She still has fans. All right, so let's flip it. You, as a horror fan, this should be the easiest question to answer. Name a critically hated movie that you love.
Well, I'll give. I love Jaws 3D, and
I knew you were gonna say that.
I just love it. I love it. I just filmed my review for Jaws 2 on 4K earlier today, and I talked about
Yeah.
how Jaws 3D is actually my favorite Jaws sequel. And Jaws
Oh my
2,
God.
I know Jaws 2 is a better movie, but
Yeah.
there's something about Jaws 3D. I know everybody hates it, but I watched that and I have a smile on my face the whole time. It's so like campy and over the top and just
Yeah.
ridiculous that I just love that one. So I would
Yeah.
definitely I would go Jaws 3D because I
The
know how
aquarium,
much
man.
people hate it. It's just
I I
wild.
I have the steelbook for the first two. I'm
Yeah.
stopping there. No 3D, no
It's just such a
revenge,
concept
no
though,
cruel Jaws.
Like Jaws
No.
breaks out at SeaWorld. I'm just like that is such a wild and young
Oh
Dennis
my God.
Quaid and everything. It's just I don't know. I think it's hilarious. So
There's something about hitting the third movie in a franchise that just makes people say, "That's still campy." Scream 3. My son the other day when he was here after we came back from a trip, he said, "I want to watch Scream 6." I was like, "Cool, I just got the Steelbook." He's like, "I haven't seen any of the other ones."
oh
And he literally just started watching them,
yeah,
binge watching them. In a day and a half, he went through the first five. And I was
awesome.
like, "So you ready for six?" And he's
Yeah,
like,
it's a
"Yeah,
great
I'm
lead
I'm
up to
leaving to go
6.
home now." And he left. He didn't even watch six. I would have gave him the digital code or something, but he just left.
Oh,
So
that's a great lead up to 6 with all the callbacks and
I
everything.
know. And you can see all the similarities between one and two and five and six, but maybe I'll send him the code and say, "Here, watch six now."
I like
Yeah,
6. It's
Dell,
fun.
I'm with you. Somebody said I look like Denzel. I was like, "No." And then he said, "I love KB, but he does not look like Denzel." Thank you, my friend. Oh, Johnny's going to be upset every time somebody doesn't have Ghostbusters in their top five. Remember, it's not the top five, it's five of.
Right. Right.
So it can be forgiven. Jeff, do you like Ghostbusters?
I do like Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Okay, all is forgiven, Johnny. All
It's
is
a good
forgiven.
movie.
Yeah, I know, Melissa. She gets on me anytime I talk about Scream 3. I'm sorry, it's a great franchise. It's still my least favorite. So Kenny Level's in the house. What up, Ken? Coming in just at the end.
There he is.
Um, let's see. Did we have a couple other? Oh, Marie says, "Don't ask about a budget. What's a budget?" Yeah, I saw Joe at Bull Moose last Monday. What's a budget is right.
Oh, he was telling me how
Um,
many he traded into. I was like, did you have to shut
it
the store down?
balances. Van Gool had a question saying, "With you reviewing movies, does your top five change?"
You know what? I have a few that are pretty solid that would never change, but it's not like
Yeah,
my top 5 would change. Like nothing's gonna ever make me not love Zodiac or Jaws or any. But like
right.
I do sometimes feel better or worse about a movie because I watched something else
Hmm.
that was similar in style and I thought was better, or like just had a similar theme or topic, and I was like, ooh, that was better than that one that I thought was really good. So that kind of knocks that one down, or maybe makes
Yeah,
that one go higher because this one stunk. Or it does change, and the more you learn about like the history of everything behind it, you can start to appreciate certain things in movies more, or like, oh, I understand that now. I get why they did that. I thought that was dumb, but like no, it was intentional. Like there was a reason. So it's funny. It does kind of change your thoughts on stuff.
all is forgiven. I would
Good.
say for me, it's like the top 25 or top 50 might change, but
Yeah.
it takes a movie to change it. Like I would say over the last 10, 15 years, maybe Parasite might sneak in there somewhere, but the majority of them, because it's mostly nostalgia. I mean, you
Yeah, it
talking
is.
about Jaws, you talking about King Kong, that's nostalgia mostly. So we're all the same way.
Yeah.
Top 20 is always changing, even as I get older and I change. Yeah. we change, those rankings change.
Oh
Movie
yeah.
rankings as franchise come along change.
Yep.
So, I might watch 2013 Evil Dead one more time and that might move up in the ranks. So it's true.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone who's in the chat tonight. Thanks for hitting us with some questions and some fun comments. So as we land this plane, I want to thank Jeff for giving me extra time because I know
Yeah.
he
No
had
worries, man.
to break out. But
I want you to squeeze in that basketball question too when we finish here. I need to know.
okay, we'll do that
I'm a big
after this
basketball
one.
fan.
I know you are. Um, so number 5, who would you like to see me have a conversation with on this channel?
Well, I think the obvious one now is Denzel, right?
Well, of course, but I mean, achievable within the next year or so.
Yeah.
Who do you have connects with that you could help me get on here?
Well, have you talked to Dice K?
No, but you're the second person to tell me that. When I had James on a few weeks ago before vacation, another Criterion guy, he's like, you got to get Dice K on. I know he's moving. I want him to
Yeah,
get established
he's
before
moving out
I
back
invite
to
him on.
LA. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is exciting because like now I already told him I was like, if I'm out there, you're ever out here now, definitely we're gonna. But that was one of the most fun conversations I had on the
hmm
podcast
You
because
you were
he
good on his
just,
channel too.
thank you. Yeah, we kind of set that up based on ours. I was like, we should do another one, and here's the topic I want to cover because we kind of got into it on mine. And I was like, I want to keep going with you because
Yeah.
his knowledge of like all the older stuff that I'm not super aware of, and then I was bringing him the newer stuff, which he's like, I didn't even know that was so. It was a lot of fun. He would be a great conversation, and I think that's definitely achievable. And if not him, if you talk to Elliot Cohen, who does boutique Blu-rays, he's a really
I
good
love
guy too.
Elliot.
Yeah, he's a
Bro,
lot of
I
fun
got
to
to tell
talk
you,
to.
him, Nathan Jones, who personal friend of mine, he lives like a couple hours south of me. He's stayed here, friend of the family, and film blogger Sam. I don't know who I got in contact with first, but the three of them ended up being, like people I followed. And when I first discovered Elliot's channel, I literally went back to the beginning, watch all his videos, all his live streams, all the stuff he did with his dad, just because I was like, this dude is soothing. He's calm. He's
Yeah,
informative. He's
right,
awesome.
right.
So, yes, I would love to have Elliot on. That would be cool. A couple last comments, then we'll ask you that question. Let's see.
Cool.
Tim says that was great. Alex, great stream. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, we talked about Oppenheimer, Barbenheimer. Yeah, talk to Heath. I would like to. We said we'd do it this year, but just haven't touched base again. Marie says, you're wonderful, both of you. Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
get
you.
Elliot on. All right. So, basketball question.
Yeah, me.
Choose one from the start of his career in Cleveland to Paul Pierce's retirement. LeBron never beats the Celtics, or from 2003, 2005 to like 2030, the Sox always beats the Yankees.
Um,
I didn't say it was easy.
I
It's a
would
scenario thing.
I would take if you could tell me that I could get every game with LeBron and we'd beat him down and Paul Pierce would beat him.
Hmm.
I'd take that because those were that was some of the most fun I had watching basketball was Pierce.
Me
He
too.
he's one of a few guys in LeBron's career that truly like matched the intensity, like took him
Hmm.
in a game 6, a game 7, like shot for
Body,
shot,
everything. Yep.
everything. Yeah, we have. My dad has a bunch of like sports memorabilia, and one of the pictures we have up in his office is a signed picture of Paul Pierce. Not even like scoring over LeBron, shooting, dunking on him, just
Yeah.
bodying him up and guarding him, and like that's
Not
the
everybody could do
picture.
that.
Yeah, that's the picture because that's what I remember. Was just those
Yeah.
matchups were so much fun,
Legendary.
and it was great because
Legendary.
they did for at least the first few years, tend to come out on top on those. When he got to Miami, he started to beat him down a little bit, but yeah, those Cleveland, LeBron, Paul Pierce matchups with the Celtics were amazing.
Yeah.
So I'd go with that. I always want to beat LeBron every time. I think he's a nice enough guy, but I always want to beat him.
Yeah. Yeah. People will appreciate him, even the haters. It's kind of like now. I could appreciate a Reggie Miller being a former Knicks fan. I could appreciate a Big Papi.
Yeah.
I could appreciate the people I used to hate when they played, beating my teams and going against my teams now because they're retired. So
yeah, you have to appreciate greatness. Like, you know, I appreciate LeBron for sure. I appreciate guys who anybody, like, I think, and I'm a Patriots fan, but I think a lot of people came around to appreciate Tom Brady because just the longevity and just playing well. I actually don't. I like him less after he left the Patriots than I did while he was playing. So I've gone the other way. But
interesting.
Yeah, I love those guys. You can't beat that.
Now people want to talk ball. Is Joker proof Larry Bird would still be a beast today? Yes.
Larry Bird still be.
I'm glad you acknowledge that. Not enough people acknowledge that Larry Bird was like everything. Thanks,
he was
James.
Intense. He would trash talk you like Garnett.
Trash talker. All-time trash talker.
Yeah.
And back it up.
Right.
That's what I love. Back it up.
Yeah, he is Jokic.
He's playing for second.
Behind the back and everything.
I still love that line. When he would three-point
shot
contest on All-Star Weekend, who's playing for second?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's balls.
Yeah, he's a Larry legend.
Thank you, Marty. And thank you, Huck, and thank you, Jeff. Long time coming. I'm glad we were able to do it.
Definitely.
Thank you to everyone in the chat. I don't know. I'm gonna have somebody next week. I don't know who it's gonna be, but tune in. We'll probably try to get someone on Monday or Wednesday. And as I always say, go watch a movie. Have a good night, everyone.